children, and now that they're almost grown, she's exploring that area again, possibly going back and doing her PhD. Woo. She did lots of volunteering with women's agencies and others when she first arrived in Canada 20 years ago. And it was a challenge to raise 3 children on her own in a foreign country, studying, volunteering, and also working. So she's a juggler and wears many hats. But she always believed in giving back to her community, so she never stopped volunteering. And as we see, this nonprofit is one of her, it's actually the second job where she doesn't get paid. However, she has always been grateful for other women who have crossed roads, supporting and motivating to keep her moving forward. And Josie is hopeful that as women from all walks of life, we will look into the struggle and challenges of racism and discrimination of all types of people in Alberta and Canada. She believes that women are the key when it comes to family structure and molding our young ones and educating them. So hence coming together today to see what kind of outcomes we can come up with so we can give some good feedback to our government. Now I want to welcome Josie so she can come up and educate us. Miss Josephine.
I don't mind. Talk from my chair.
You can talk from your chair.
This age and So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. We really feel honored for your time. I know today, especially weekend, Saturday, good weather, is such a, a commitment really to come here. Lots of things out there. So, yes, that's me, Josie. A little bit of background that Carol has put together so well. Thank you, Carol. So, in my native language, like grandfather from Clio, these people are smart. Wow. Well, in my language, they say, I'm going to say this one, literally meaning, the biggest and most successful war is through discussions, where everyone is given a chance to say their minds with respect, and everybody else listen without interruption. And then we will go from there. I was thinking about this when I was writing this. I'm like, is it why Botswana has never been in war? Botswana is one of the few countries, if there's any, that was never had war, regardless of us surrounded by these countries that are always in war. We were challenged one time by South Africa because we were getting a lot of refugees from South Africa to help them, flee the chaos, including Zimbabwe, when Mugabe and the other first government were. And all these governments would come and bomb us, literally bomb those houses that they would think these people are, that's where they are, bomb entertainments where people are dancing like disco. One time it was this guy from Jamaica, what's his name? Bob Marley was in Botswana, and they bombed that place. Hopefully he was not, some people were injured. Yes, we lost some, quite a few young people there and so forth. So regardless, Botswana kept quiet and kept talking, kept trying to involve others, but never turned to war. So I think that's the pillar of this. So we are here today with racialized women. And when I thought about this area of racialized women and say, we can't continue to be quiet. And I thought of this, I said, it's not just those who are visibly marginalized. We have allies in the other side of this discussion. That's why you see us today coming as the flowers that your grandfather has said. We are all flowers that if we come together with those fragrances that are unique, different, and complementing each other, we can move forward and get something. So at our Solitude, as Carol has mentioned, we work a lot with all these women, marginalized. Women using substances, they are highly discriminated, highly marginalized. People have stigmatized that area so much that some of them even are scared to seek help. Because in the past, things are changing, we have to acknowledge that. Things are changing. But in the past, me with my gray hair and healthcare, people who were using substances, we would see them as their own choice. We didn't see that as a disease. Just like other things like weight, things like that, we were stigmatizing all these things. And as such, we have lost quite a bit of people. Because then they shy away. They don't want to be stigmatized. So, or rejected, because we were rejecting them. The government said with this grant, said we would like to hear from the people. What is it that can be done? And we were very excited, but as you know, with grants you apply, you are not sure of whether you will receive anything or what, but we kept on going, being hopeful. We got the grant now, and we reread the whatever that they want, and I'm like, wow, they are right. We know, we have experienced it. And it has been talked about. It's written. Even though sometimes it doesn't seem to be written the way it should, with the pain and experiences of those, but it has been documented for a long time. People who have been discriminated. Could be because of color, could be because of language, could be because of sexuality, could be because of their ability, as now we can say people with disability, could be the way you walk, what you eat. We see this, we live it every day. So my approach would be, it has to be broader. It has to be brought to the table. We cannot continue to discriminate each other, pushing those other ones away and say, you are not discriminated upon, so there's nothing you can say. You are the one who are discriminated and you are just making this noise and so forth. You see all those frictions that are coming between us. Now we are here, we want all of us to come to the table to say, what is it that we can do? Those that are less marginalized or non-marginalized, us who are highly marginalized and so forth, let's learn and relearn. Let's listen to the roots of this. Some would say this has come from fear of these other individuals, because they don't know how to deal with what is different. And what is it that is different? Is it the way we look? Is it the way we dance? The way we are always smiling and singing? Is it the way we eat? Is it how other people dress? Is it even so many things? So what I came up with is, how as people can we address this? Like Theo has said, grandfather said, we are all people. all the same. We are like flowers that augment whatever of each other. That's how I see this. We can't, as let's say, as highly marginalized people, this is an area we live every day, but we cannot solve the problem on our own. We need each other. So I've written quite a bit here. Mental health is part of it, you know. People with mental health doesn't discriminate like HIV doesn't discriminate. When I was young and very forceful, I came here in Alberta, I was 30, I don't know, 27 or 31. And then I was in the university before I took my break from my PhD. And somebody was presenting. And they said, women of color. I looked around. What? Women of color? I looked around. And then I raised my hand. Say, oh yeah, Josephine. Who are these women of color? Literally. My supervisor said, are you serious, ma'am? I said, yes. Unless I get the explanation of woman of color, I'm not following the research. He said, black people. I said, what? Black people like me? They said, yes. What color do we have? If anything, you people are the ones with colors. What color do people? Black people. You are saying black people. Literally, what color do they have? So that's one thing, because coming from where I grew up, Botswana, I did not learn with color. Yeah. To me, our first president married a young woman from Britain, a white girl, and he was learning law in there. So I think he really was drilled, for sure, as you can imagine in those years in those countries now, relationship with this woman, so many force against him. But he fought so hard. South Africa refused to have him land in Johannesburg, where we land before we connect most of the time. We can land in Kenya, we can land in Zimbabwe, but South Africa is our main entry. They refused him. They said, you can't come here, especially if you have that woman. Because of what? Apartheid in South Africa. He said, that will never happen. I'm coming and I'm coming with my wife. In his family, the uncles and so forth, they said, no, you have to come here and marry your native. He said no, because they wanted him to lead the country. He said no. Unless you accept me and my wife and my child, 2 children, I will never come back. You see, fighting started a long time ago. Both sides. Sometimes because we are so overwhelmed with what we experience, and because it's coming to you as a person, it's coming to you as a community, we feel like this struggle is too much. We can't do anything with it. But when we all bring those hands, if you look into those pictures, look at the colors, because now we are in North America, we talk color. It's all colors. We need everybody on the table so that we can address this mountain that has been so heavy, so hard. So as an educator as well, I see this to start from early childhood. And I would say early childhood learning, which has schools, curriculum, parents as in the household. We are educators of our children before they even see somebody else. It has to start there. Let our children learn the true history of Canada. We are now Canadians here. Nobody can push us away. We are part of this community. We are part of this country. We want to be involved engaged with all other people who are ready to work with us to move and move forward. We are interracial, you know. So those people that may be perpetrators or be part of that nation of perpetrators, they are our families. They are our grandchildren. You know, and how can we separate all this? But we see this still continue. So curriculum should be addressed across board. Could be in educational institutions, could be in policing institution, could be in you know, professional doctors, nurses, engineers, all these people. Let them learn and relearn, because most of this they've learned it. They were not born with it. If you observe children playing, they don't see the difference. One time I was with my grandchild and so many people were around her. She was just, hello, ma, hello, ma. And one woman said, she doesn't seem to be scared of anybody. I said, why should she? She's raised by all her, she has a pool of mothers who look different but loving to her. That's why she is like this. And that's why I'm saying all these behaviors are learned. None of whoever can be perpetrating this was born with it. And let's learn, all of us learn, relearn, remodel, and see how best we can make this place a better living place for all of us. Now, we talk of our young ones in gang whatever thing. Why? I was thinking about it. Why our youth, especially visible minorities, it doesn't matter Vietnam, Africa, Japan, China, or South America, or what. Why most of them are in this gang? See, I said, oh, I think I may have some understanding. These children, they feel rejected by the overall society. They feel unnoticed. So, for them to get that, you know, attention, they have to do something. And two, they feel they belong. They feel they are being under somebody, at least understand them. Somebody accept them. Somebody loves them. Somebody, you know, they are somebody. But at the end, we continue to be stigmatized. Our children, you know, gets some more facts, this. Let's learn what the core of everything that we see in society. To me, it comes back to when you are a teacher, you treat this one differently than this one. You give this one a low mark because she or he looks this way, and our children drop off from schools, or they don't even take courses that they qualify for, or they laugh because they are scared. They don't apply for jobs where they can flourish because they are scared. But we can all, as mothers, we know that the love that we have for our children, all of them. I remember when I was a young woman, I didn't have a child, but I would look at children when I drive to work, when I drive on the road, I'll give them a ride to school, I pass to my work. Inside, I will always be praying and say, God, make them good citizens. I didn't know their parents. I didn't know how they live, where they live, but I knew as a mother, as a woman, as a community member, man or woman, we can make a difference if we start building our young ones. So today, guys, I don't have answers, but I am hopeful that if we're given another chance to come and dissect what we are thinking and having today, of which you are still going to fill those questionnaires, bring more. We may help our government